Hello, everyone. Um, Welcome to the live stream. All glad to see everybody here. Glad to see me here. Uh, anyway, this is going to be subject. This is going to be: Are you really part of a prepper group? And as you can see, I sent out an invitation to my prepper group. There are about 85 people on the group right now, and you can see that. Right now, I don't have anybody but me on, which is the whole point of this. Uh, really, are you part of a prepper group if you just put your name on a meetup list? What does that get you? Where is that? What can you expect from simply finding a survival group on the meetup and putting your name down? Honestly, you can't expect very much. Uh, you're not going to be able to just show up after SHTF and say, "Hey, listen, I'm part of your group. What can I do?" And most group leaders are going to say, "Well, you can keep on walking. That's what you can do." Because they don't know you. They've never seen you before. They've held meetings and you don't show up. They don't. They schedule live streams and you don't even take the time to sign on. Really, how's that going to help you? Do you have the skills? Have you practiced the skills? Nobody knows. So you put your name down and I honestly don't know what you expect to get from that. It's kind of sad, and that may not be all around the country. That may just be around the Northeast. I've noticed people tend to, particularly in the Northeast, they stay to their friends, they stay to their families. If their friends are not, or if their friends and family are not preppers, then they might do a little bit for themselves. But when their friends and family show up, because now things are bad and they need help, you're not going to be able to take care of all of them. That's and you can say, well, they should have got ready, but you should have. There are groups reaching out, and you should have been more active with that. Any possibility you had of taking care of your friends and family are gone if you can't do it, and if there's no group that'll take the whole bunch of you in. Because let's say, for me, I wouldn't, if 20 people showed up at my door. To me, they're hostile. They're a threat. I can't. I don't know them. I don't know what to expect from them, and it's just not going to happen. To tell you the truth, the way things are going, after a certain amount of time, I do plan on bugging out. I'll stay here for as long as the firearms and the ammo hold out. Then after that, I have a place picked. I also do have some friends who their family's part of an extended. They're a lot of his relatives are farmers. Now he's got 3 uncles that own quite a bit of land in the state, and they do actively farm and they raise cattle and different things like that. So I could go over and stay with them, or I have various bug out locations picked out. The bug out locations are based mostly on resources. The one thing I will tell you, part of the reason for me waiting is, in a lot of cases, people aren't going to last very long if things really hit the fan. If the lights go out, or if the government collapses, or if there's rioting, You know, if the stores are empty, or you know, I think what we're seeing now is stores in some areas don't even want to open because they know that people are just going to come in, take what they want, leave without paying for it, and that's it. You know, so they just say, well, you know, if I'm opening just to give stuff away, then they don't even want to open. And who can blame them? You know, so you know, in urban areas especially, I think you're going to find a lot of people. You know, if things get bad, they're going to want the government to help them, and they're going to probably, you know, storm City Hall and maybe burn the place to the ground, and you know, things like that. But you know, they other than that, you know, they just have to, you know, wait for the inevitable. You know, the food is gone. They can't get water. They don't know how to purify it. I mean, we got streams flowing right through the center of my town, um, you know, and lakes close by. You know, it's not that the water's not available. It's just that, you know, they don't. You can't just dip a cup in there and start drinking. It'll make you sick. You know, you have to know how to treat it. And yeah, it's doubtful that they do. You know, I can't even tell. Do they even know? Yes, the street goes right in the middle of town, but you know, when things get bad, will they even remember? You know, because people do tend to, you know, panic, and you know, when hunger sets in, people start to forget. You know, that's the one thing every time I see people quoting the rule of threes, I I don't believe in the rule of threes because it doesn't take enough into consideration. You know, 3 days without water, but you know, and 3 weeks without food. Long before you reach those 3 days or 3 weeks, your body starts getting into distress. You know, you know, I've researched food especially, and I know that, you know, 36 hours is all the blood glycogen you got in your bloodstream. Um, when that blood glycogen starts to run out, your body starts taking it taking it out of your food, or taking it out of your fats and your muscles. And it, you know, when it releases the chemicals to break down tissue to extract glycogen, it does it in basically equal proportions. It doesn't, you know, the chemical that frees the glycogen doesn't know the difference between your muscles and your fat. So both of those start to get used up in equal proportions. So you start to lose coordination. 3 days in, you know, you're going to be stumbling around. You know, paranoia sets in. You know, I've even heard cases where, you know, a guy was out hunting, and you know, it was wintertime, and he got himself turned around, and um, he couldn't find his way home. Um, After a point of time, became so paranoid that he was hiding from his rescuers. I mean, they found him in an area that the rescuers had previously been through, but you know, they when they looked at different places where you could hide, that's where they found him. So you know, those things start happening. Um, you know, I also remember a case in Maine. A woman, she was out hiking, she got herself turned around, and likewise, she kind of sat and waited for help and wrote a diary, and she'd gotten to the point, maybe a week or so into the 3 weeks, where she could no longer walk. You know, her legs were just too weak. She couldn't get anywhere. So what happens with those additional 2 weeks when you can't walk? You pretty much condemn yourself to just sit down and die. Um, you know, after maybe a couple weeks, or um, 10, maybe 15 days in, your body reaches a point to where it's consumed so much of the fat and so much of the protein in your body that when it doesn't find any more of that, it starts on your digestive organs. So you do reach a point to where you can't eat anything and expect to save your life. Uh, the only way you can be safe is if someone comes along with an IV, full of, with fluids in like a D5W solution or something along those lines, and starts getting nutrients into you via your bloodstream. Uh, then the last few days, your body is consuming your heart. There's nothing left. So your body's going to try and preserve your brain until everything else is gone. And when everything else is gone, it starts consuming your heart. Then your brain eventually follows. There's nothing. There's no blood pumping. There's no nutrients. There's just nothing. So, what I'm describing to you, yes, you can go 3 weeks without food, but think about what those 3 weeks are going to be like. You don't want to do it. You don't want to do it out there. Anyway, back to the main topic. With prepper groups, if you're going to hold a prepper group, you should be meeting on a regular basis. You should be showing up. You should be prepared. If there's going to be a training session and the trainer says, okay, I need everybody to bring a multi-tool, and you show up with your pockets empty, well, you're going to really piss off the instructor. He's not going to go handing out pocket tools for you all to take home and lose. If that's what you're really thinking you're going to do, then please don't do that. I'm talking from experience. I actually conducted a class where we were going to do some primitive fire starting and things like that, and I told everybody to bring a pocket tool, and they didn't. So if you notice on my meetup channels, there's long periods where I just don't hold anything. I'll schedule a bunch of meetups. No one will attend. Maybe one person attends. I'll try a bunch of live streams. Nobody watches, or maybe one person watches. And then after that, I'll just say, well, you know what? Let me pull back and think about this some more. And that's what I do. All the time I'm prepping. I haven't stopped. I do gardening. I do online research, do bushcrafting. I mean, whatever I think, whatever I need to do, I'm still doing. And also, I'm watching my email and Meetup to see if anybody is contacting me, saying, "Listen, I know the group's been quiet. Is there any plans?" You could also say, "Well, I've had this skill. I'm pretty good at. Can we get the group together so maybe I can teach it? Maybe one of the members can teach a class. It shouldn't have to be the leader doing all the training." Groups work best when there's a bunch of either co-leaders, assistant leaders. I forget how Meetup calls them, but the group where one man just pulling the whole group along, that doesn't work. I've tried it before. I'm trying it now. I'm telling you, when shit hits the fan, you're just going to be out there. I've been preparing my whole life with prepping, so yes, I can go out with a hunting knife, and I can make fire, and I can make shelter, and I can find food, either foraging, or I prefer fishing to snaring, but I can do either. But I also have not so much a bug out bag, because I don't really think and this is one that people here in the Northeast should expect. If you bug out, you're gone for more than 3 days and the situation is bad out there. There's law enforcement is not able to control the situation. When you come back, don't expect to find anything. You might as well just leave the front door open and let it be an open invitation for the looters, because if you don't leave it open, they're just going to kick it in or break the windows or do something. They're going to get in, and you're going to come back to nothing. Very, very good chance they'll even just throw a torch in your living room and just set the whole place on fire anyway. Um, if you've got a gun and gun safe, well, you can attach a chain around that and haul it out. If you got food preps, they're gone. So if you're going to bug out, you need to plan on it being a one-way trip. Otherwise, stay home and try and defend your place the best you can. If you don't have firearms, you're running out of time. In my state, especially, your time is already passed. They aren't issuing new firearms permits. So whatever you do have, whatever firearms you have, that's it. You just got to make the best of it. If you don't have firearms, well, you can still get your hands on bows and arrows and things like that. Whatever you can get through Amazon is still available. But as far as getting a AR-15 or something like that, well, you got to have a permit for that. State, it's got so many laws that I haven't kept up with black rifle laws, so I can't say that you could get your hands on one of those anyway. But without the permit, you can't get a BB. Well, you can get a BB gun, but not much more than a pellet gun. So if you've reached this point and you haven't taken care of your security needs, your defense needs, then you're screwed already. You might as well just go about your life, and know that if people start looting, then when they come to your place, just step aside and let them in, because you haven't prepared, you haven't practiced, you don't have a group. You might have put your name down on the list, but you don't have a group. Anyway, so here I am, 17 minutes in, and still one subscriber. I'm not sure if he's part of my prepper group or not, but I think I'm going to switch off for a little bit. I'll talk about a couple of prepper items that I carry or things I can recommend. Maybe there could be some use. But you go ahead and hang on. Well, anyway, like I say, multi-tool. I've got one right here. This one's kind of worn and probably should be replaced. I think I've got one of the locking mechanisms is broken. It's a little stiff to get open. I got to oil it up regularly. Here we go. Getting the blade out was hard because, like I said, I got to get some more oil on it. There we go. This one's got its locking mechanism. With the Leatherman, this is the Leatherman Surge. If you don't know, on this blade, it's the full without the serrated part. If you look at the backside, here, you notice it's just a smooth backside here too. The serrated blade, if you look at, let's see, it's got the serrations on it. Let's see, on the backside. That's how if you're reaching around, maybe you're in the dark, you're trying to get out a blade, you can't figure out the difference. That's how you know. They put serrations on the serrated blade. Makes sense. It's just if you didn't realize it was there for that purpose, then you might have to sort of fumble around a little bit. I've had this since I'm going to say I've had this around since the 1990s. It's an old pair, but Leatherman's hold up a long time. Anyway, that's an everyday carry item. Get yourself a belt holster, put it on your belt, or in your purse. Whenever you put your pants on, that should be on your belt holster. I'm forever, if I have to go through a metal detector, I'm forever giving you a hard time because it's always on my belt, and it's a tool, not a weapon. I will have that. I'll have that discussion, before, a lot of times I'll just end up having to leave it with the guy and go in and do my business thing, and then come back out. Excuse me. Anyway, um, there is another tool. I'm going to show you. This is in the lighting area, which yeah, uh, I've had some nice things. This is brass. This is on Amazon. Don't buy the plastic version, but this one's brass. And let me see if I can fill it up with a little fluid and see if I can get it to light. Um, yeah, getting all of it in. Yeah, because plastic was giving me a little bit of fit. So I'm just going to fill it, carefully. Yeah. This is just an irrigation syringe, for you people out there going, oh, ha, 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 he uses drugs. It's like, don't be, grow up. This is just to get out a little bit of lamp oil and put it in the lamp. Same thing. A guy came in. I have indoor cucumbers growing, and he's like, "Oh, marijuana." It's like, yeah. Why don't you take that? Why don't you take that long green thing and smoke it? Yeah. Yeah. People around here, anyway, in the Northeast, they think they're funny by, accusing everybody of using drugs, or maybe it's just wishful thinking on their part. But people who really don't support the drug movement in any way, shape, or form. We don't think that's funny. Um, See, I'm only going to put one in here because that's one syringe full, because that's plenty. Um, if you get this brass Aladdin's lamp from Amazon, watch the seams. They're not really waterproof. What you're going to want to do is, well, the seams leak. So what you do when you get it home, fill it with water first, and then look around the seam to see where it's leaking, and then um, either solder or super glue can fill that hole. So now let's see. Let's come up with a match or a striker. This is mine. I've got a super container of all things prepping. That's what a fire steel will do. Put the top back on. Don't want to knock it over. Maybe a little bit on the wick itself. And the perfunctory warning, don't do this at home. I would say I am a trained professional, but I've done this a few times before. What the hell? If I burn the house down on YouTube, you guys will love it. Okay, well, okay, not going to cooperate this time, so let's move along. Go to there is a lighter that I've got. Shouldn't be too hard for me to find that I want to tell you about anyway. See something. Just for fun, this is this is Cecil fibers of Bailey twine. Let's see what I can do with that. This is why you should always carry a lighter as part of your preps. Oh, there we go. One of the things I like to point out to you is when it comes to cotton balls soaked in Vaseline, my own personal preference is to carry them separate. And you can get nice little tubes of Vaseline. Of course, now it's going to be backwards. But this is, what does that say? It's a 1/3 of an ounce, I believe. I have my glasses. This is one type of lighter you can get on Amazon, and I'm going to recommend it. If you notice, you can see the butane level, and you can actually see the fluid jiggling around. It's got a clear body. It's a very tough acrylic plastic, and this is basically, you'll find this listed as a cigar lighter. If you notice, it shoots out a triple flame, and doesn't stop right away, but shoots out a triple flame, which is a nice advantage. A blue flame, which is hotter flame, which will get things going even better. The other thing too is when you do this, you can put it in at an angle, so you can get at whatever you're trying to light. That's not unlike Zippo or Bic lighters. When you tip them upside down, the flame tends to rise back up into your hand. Let's see now. There we go. Oops. Almost. One more time. There we go. Well, it's probably not going to stay lit. The wick has been sitting and drying out for quite a while now, so it would take some time to soak up, which I don't really want to have to make you wait while it. Maybe toward the end of the broadcast, I'll give it another try. Let's see. So, what else did I show you? For self-defense, you do want to keep pepper spray with you. In my state, we're not constitutional carry, and I let my permit collapse because, frankly, I think they're illegal. I don't accept their idea that you have a right as long as we give you permission to have a right. I don't. As far as I'm concerned, it doesn't work like that. A right is a right is a right, and if you can deny that right, then you're violating the Constitution. Yeah. And hopefully there'll come a time when these people will be dealt with. But you know, I think here in the Northeast, we're pretty much going to sit and watch. Some other part of the country will have to take lead in that. I don't think it's going to come from this part of the country. Let's see, I think. You know what? I think what I'm going to do is I'll do a discussion on a little sewing kit. Some things I think you might want to consider having. Yeah. Looks like I'm going to have to postpone that. There's one special item that I have in my sewing kit that I'd like to point out, but it's not here right now. So I'll have to check downstairs and see where it's at. Yeah, let's see what else we got. Some of these, the UCO, they can light when wet, they can stay lit. The only problem with these things, is this right here. It doesn't withstand water for very long, and if you lose it, you can't get this lit. So for me, that's a weak spot. I do have one I do have one extra, maybe two extra backup strikers, but see, the striker contains, I think it's called red phosphor. It contains a chemical that will it will produce the spark that lights this. By itself, you can't really, like I say, I've tried striking these things on all sorts of different. I tried striking these on all sorts of different surfaces, and I can't find anything that will make it work. If anybody has found a way to get that lit without using the striker, let me know. Like I say, for that purpose, I don't really trust these UCO waterproof matches. A part is only as good as its weakest component, and unless they want to put this on metal or hard plastic or do something along that line, if it, somehow, some way they want to toughen that striker up, then I don't fully trust it. It's not, I wouldn't recommend going out with just those waterproof matches. And as you can tell from getting my lantern lit, it really took the cigar lighter to come even close. And even then, like I say, I think the wick needs more time to absorb oil. I think it's been sitting too long. It will work after a while. I like those lanterns because they're a nice decorative item. They're useful. They do give off good light. Possibly use them for cooking. I haven't really tried it for that, but they're nice on a winter's night to have lit and glowing. Let's see. Is there anything else? Oh, here's a little something. I found this on Optics Planet. It's little pocket size night vision. You know, is it the greatest thing around? No, absolutely not. Far from it. But it does get the job done. I've taken this out on quite a few occasions and gotten, know, like when it's pitch black, I can take this around. It's got a little infrared light it gives off, so that'll help light the way. Uh, like I said, if I need to navigate at night, um, it's better than nothing. It fits in your pocket. So I don't generally make this part of my everyday carry, but the way I set things up for myself is I have an everyday carry, things that are in my pockets uh, or on my belt at all times. I have a hiking, basically a short time out type of pouch, which I'll go into more detail probably on the next video. Um, and then I graduate to a fanny pack, a butt pack, which will keep me going. Well, the hip pouch will keep me going for 1 or 2 days. I keep some energy bars in there. I've got some some of the canteen type things, the plastic bag that holds a liter of water. I've got a water treatment straw. Uh, I got a way to light to start a fire. I got Mylar for shelter. I think I've got one of those little $1 emergency poncho kind of things. Just very much down and dirty basics. And then from there I go with I move up to a fanny pack, which will keep me going for maybe about a week. Yeah. With the hip pouch, a day or two. Then with the fanny pack, you add about a week to that. Then I go with a hiking pack, which will get me, maybe about 3 weeks, plus or minus. In addition to what I've get from the lower packs. Then once you get past that, if I start to get 300 or 400 miles from home, what I'm going to carry is going to start going on wheels. I don't believe, I don't know that anybody can really carry, more than 100, 150 pounds on the back and go 300 miles with it. Yes, it will get lighter as you go, but still, I think switching over to a wheeled cart, you're going to be much better off. If I need to bug out to where I think that there's not going to be anything left standing when I come back, then I'm going to use the car, or I've actually got a John Deere tractor. In the front bucket, I could probably put several storage cases, pile that up. To take that. One thing nice about diesel vehicles, and mine in particular, is running around the yard like I am. I use home heating oil. That's what I've used almost since the start. I think the first tank load of gas was from a gas station, and then after that, I just started siphoning out of the heating oil tank, and never had a problem with it. Because there isn't any difference with it. The home heating oil, they add a red dye to it. That's the extent of it. So, if I use that as a bug out vehicle, then I can't. All that I do is, if I'm driving by houses, I just start looking for an external oil tank fill. The connection with where the guy from the oil company comes over and fills up your heating oil tank. If it's got one of those, then it's got the house has fuel. I can barter for it. If the house is empty, I can just go in and get what I need. And then go on, leave the rest, go on and find another house when it gets to be time. Um, but that's the thing. So I got that option. I could take, I could actually use a tractor for a bug out vehicle. Um, I've also got an electric bike which runs on solar. I use my solar panels and generator to charge that up. So if I go that route, then I've got unlimited. I can go coast to coast as long as I got sunshine. I've got fuel for my bike, and I have a trailer for the bike. So I can put several hundred pounds on it, because if you think you're going to get out there and live for more than a few months um, off your back, you can't. It's not going to happen. You might think you're super skilled, and you might think you're you know everything there is to know about survival, and you might think, I go out every weekend and I practice my skills and all that. But that going out every weekend, that's a weekend. You know, um, I know in my personal case, I was stuck. I had my truck engine break. I was coming back from Utah, and the engine broke down, and I had a cash buying situation. Um, I live on a military pension, so I had to wait for the next check to be deposited before I could call the guy and get my engine fixed. So, I was stuck. He basically told me, and there was an old abandoned restaurant. So he told me behind that, and that's where I sat for a month. But the thing is, I had a truck full of preps. But even still, there were things I learned. I do use a CPAP machine, and I had to get by for a month without the machine. So that's where I learned I had to really get more into solar. And, I couldn't, I can't just let that go. Keeping a larger supply of medications, because I took I took what I needed, but I'm on VA medical, and when you're away from um, your home base, so I'm not sure what you're going to call it, but whenever you're away from your main VA, um, they generally don't want to give you more than 2 weeks supply. Um, so and that while I was sitting behind the road there, I basically ran out. Uh, Um, I learned about not letting medications running out, and learning to make sure I had electricity at all times. Uh, and those really did help me. I went through a couple ice storms here in 2011, 2012, and I found that for a situation like that, if you have a CPAP Marine, a Marine battery, a good size, a full size Marine battery will it'll do the trick. Um, I kept the CPAP machine running for over 2 weeks on the Marine battery. Uh, if you if you're using a CPAP, I'd recommend that you get yourself a couple batteries, one regular and one in reserve, and get enough solar to charge them up. Uh, and always keep them charged. Don't let them completely discharge. But for most situations you're likely to encounter, your CPAP will keep you going for about a month. Um, and if you've got good solar setup, you can keep it going indefinitely. Um, I do have a system coming in. It's a 1500 watt solar generator with an extra battery. That could possibly run the house. I've been watching what other people say about um, how much wattage you need to run your house, and I'm more or less a low energy user. So in my case, I probably could. But I'm used to hand washing. I've done laundry in a tub. You've done it in the bathtub. Um, I've even now I've got clotheslines strung across this. Well, I've got strung my clothesline strung up here. I'm looking at 'em. So, because I had my electric dryer go out for the second time, and the first time was such a hassle fixing it that I just kind of got to the point where, you know, I don't really want to do it again. It was just so much headache. Um, and I keep blowing, it blows a fuse on the heating unit. So, you know, um, so for now, I'm just trying it on a clothesline. Yeah. But, it, there are some things to work out with washing in the bathtub, how much soap to use. I know even in the washing machine, if I, which is still working, thank God. Um, but if I put too much soap in, and the machine automatically adjusts the water, so if I don't do it right, then I, got soap stains on my clothes. So, you know, um, and maybe that's just a guy thing. We tend to, we don't do things like that the best. That's not our strength. Uh, but anyway, so we're coming up on 46 minutes. Um, Let me see if I can go back into my bag of tricks and come up with something else you might be interested in. Um, oh, um, I was talking about the Cpaps a little earlier. This is the entire kit. I do have to go ahead and stick in the 12-volt power cord. Um, it runs straight off the 12-volt supply uh, on my generator. I've got a 500 watt now, and it keeps it going through the night, but it doesn't give me anything left over. So anyway, so um, here's the cord, or here's the hose. I've got this. These are they call those nasal pillows, and I've got ear loops to strap them on. The little cushion pads are for trying to keep the lines off your face. See if I got any. Yeah, doing that. That's for CPAP users, having the strap lines on your faces. That's one of the things you have to deal with. Then the CPAP unit itself, I've taken this out on camping trips, and I like it. Um, it's good. It's an older unit. It doesn't have it. It's lacking a few of the features. It's a little bit difficult to get it adjusted, get the pressure right. Um, so most of the time, I tend to keep it. It'll be on the high end. Um, but at least I know I'm not going to be waking myself up in the middle of the night. So yeah, it fits into a little 5x8 bag, and the power cord. When I find that, it won't have any problem fitting in there. So, show you one other thing, and I think I'll wrap this up. Yeah, I got the camera just a little high. It's not really the right height for display purposes, but it's a small unit. It'll fit in my backpack, no problem. Doesn't really even take up that much room. Um, yeah, this is a little something I came across a while back, and I've been testing, and I kind of like it. It's this is 550. Um, yeah, okay. This is 300 meters of 2.5 millimeter braided fish line. And if I'm looking at the YouTube right, everything's reading backwards, but 550 pounds. And I did test it. What I did is I took two strands of it. The I had regular paracord. This is 100 foot of regular paracord, Um, it might be 550 paracord. That's the test strength. Under test conditions, when they clamp it just right and exert pressure against it, it'll it'll withstand about 550 pounds till it breaks. That's not working load. When you start tying knots in and wrapping it over logs or tree branches or tying it up, anyway, when you start doing that, the working load on this is rated at about 175 pounds. So what I did, this is 100 feet. These are both 100 feet, and you can see, this 100 feet paracord is going to make a large bulge in my pocket. That noticeable. This is normally what I carry around, my everyday carry. It's 100 feet, and it's not noticeable. The string diameter, if you look, you can see. Let's see if I can put this right. If you can see the diameter, there's a big difference. This is equivalent to about one strand inside here, maybe a little bit more than one single strand. This, like I say, it's 2.5 millimeters thick. I'd have to look up and find what the how thick the inside strands are on the paracord. Because I would like to see them start making paracord using this on the inside, give it so much more of breaking strength. So I'll just have to see how that goes. Maybe talk to somebody about doing that. If you could even run 3 strands in there, let's say 4 strands would give you maybe 2,200 pounds of test strength. And then let's see, 1, 2, 3, 600-pound working load, something like that. I'm not gonna pull out a calculator. Okay, so I'm gonna call it quits for now. It's going to be, because I'm going to publish this, put it online for people to see. If somebody wants to come back later and look. And, I've got 0 viewers. Typical. I guess I'll just close with a point, which, I've illustrated here. If you're going to be a part of a prepper group, then be a part of the prepper group. Don't just put your name down and then sit back and wait for something to happen. Because I honestly don't know if do people really think that if an emergency comes, there's going to be a big prepper vehicle show up, and take you and all your stuff, and to safety, or are we going to just surround your house and keep anybody from getting at you or your stuff? I don't. Honestly, don't know what's going through people's minds that they sign up for groups and don't make any effort, don't do anything to try and be part of the group. That's prepper groups only work when people are active in the group. They don't work any other way. I don't know how to put it any more plainly than that. So I'll sign off for now. You guys have a good day, and look for me next week.